here you do have like specific teachers that can be really good, but you have to travel a lot to find them. They're not all in the same place.
Guys, first question I wanted to ask you both is, what's the main reason you guys chose dance for your lives? What's the main reason why you guys chose dance as a main thing for your lives?
Ladies first.
Okay. It's an interesting question, considering that we actually talked about dancing recently a lot. And I can't surely say that I chose dancing for my life as a main thing, because I do think that I'm going to be doing other things on the side. I'm still trying to understand what was the primary reason for going for dancing, but I think it was more of an accident, because I just got like a gift certificate, like for to go to the class, to the dance school, and then I just enjoyed it. And then together with this joy, you start to realize that you gain the confidence, and then you have your free time busy, and then you become more interesting for people, because you're a dancer, you're so much cooler than just an ordinary person. And then when you actually get to the level of teaching and like being able actually to do it internationally, you get the recognition. That's also very enjoyable. Then we cannot ignore the fact that this is a social media era. So we do want to share a lot of visuals, a lot of content, and that gives you all of it. So maybe I sound a bit harsh because I'm not speaking of the love and the passion, though I am passionate about it. But I think those were like the reasons that kept me on the dancing journey throughout the whole.
It's okay. It's a perspective. Yes.
Yes, it's true. We talked about it recently. For me, I started because I saw this music video of Usher, and I was like, I want to learn these moves. They're very cool. So that was the first thing that I did. It was learn the music video steps. But after, I felt I need more, because I already know how to do these steps of the video. I need to learn something else. So I knew that some like friends from school, they were dancing in a group called Next, like very famous in Portugal, and I just decided to go see what it's all about. And I think from that point I discovered that it's much more than like just those steps. It's about the friends. I made so many friends in dance. I met the most special people in my life through this thing. So I also don't know sometimes if I kept going just because I love dancing as the movement expression thing, or if it's because it's giving me a platform to meet special people, to be able to have a voice in a community. So I really don't know if it's fair to say that it's all about just the love of movement. I think it's much more just than that. And I think that's why we still are able to, like some people have fun for some years, like 2, 3, 4 years, whatever, but they just keep with their lives as if like a professional, different journey that they choose. But not dancing. And we became professionals in dance. I think because not just the love of the movement, but everything
around.
around.
The whole culture. So this kind of show is about from Portugal to the world, or between Portugal and the world. So you were both here in Portugal. You are here from Portugal, but you were here in Portugal taking some classes and enjoying the country, also and enjoying azulejos.
Sim.
Yes.
É verdade.
Enjoying azulejos in this history of Portugal.
This is full of it.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
but
why
I think I would like to ask you: is there any correlation between classes or dance in Portugal and in Russia? is there any connection? Is there any like, or the passion or discipline, or is there something? There's a connection in between what you see here in the UK. Is there any connection? You can ladies first.
If I understand the question right, are
Yes.
there any similarities between
Yes.
how it is in Russia and how it is in Portugal? Interesting question. I do think that there is a lot of differences. About commonalities, well, people are passionate about it, and that's all around the world. But I do think that it's pretty different.
Yes.
The focus of people here, it's mostly about competitions. There are people mostly focus on the arts. They do want to develop their own art. About the discipline, Russians are very like war.
Yes.
And we do.
I can see that.
Push-ups.
Push-ups, exactly. A lot of push-ups and a lot of discipline. Here, people are super chill, and I think this is what people are lacking here, the discipline. But it's just my opinion.
Yes.
So I think I can talk a lot about the differences.
Yes, more than the similarities.
I don't.
But that's good. That's good. That's good. I try to ask this because I know there is more difference and similarities.
Sure.
But I wanted to know from your perspective. I wanted to know from your perspective because it's always important to have different perspectives. And you are from there, and you were here, so you know way more better than me. So.
The main difference, I think, in London, they're very work-oriented. So because there's industry, people do want to train a lot to then go and work commercially. But there's also people who are into just the art and want to just put out shows, and they have their own companies. So there's a lot of urban dance companies as well, and it's not such a common thing in Portugal. So I do think that there is a big difference because of the different markets that we have. And in Portugal, you do have a commercial scene, but it's not so big in terms of like numbers of people. You have this amount of people who work and run the show. If you know what I mean. They are in charge of who is gonna dance or not. And it's a small community. And I do believe that this works the same everywhere because it's all about, of course, the talent, but also your network. But if you compare to London, London is way bigger. So there's a lot more happening.
Of course.
A lot more people dancing. About discipline. There's taste for everything. There's people who just go for fun, but there's also people who really, like push. And there's studios also for everything. If you want to have fun, you have studios just to go and have fun. If you want to train to become, like really, really good, there's also studios where you can push yourself. Different teachers who you can approach to get different trainings in the, I think, foundations, in the like choreography scene. You have a bit of everything. And I do think it's all about what you want, and then that's why in London you can feel that there's a bit of an individualistic approach to dance because everyone's running for their own bag. Everyone just wants, like, I want to be working, so you know what? I'm really friends of you guys, but I got my own thing to do. So I'm going to run for my own thing. And that's why it's a more individualistic journey in London. I don't know, like maybe than in Portugal or Russia. That's
it. Okay. So what I heard from your answer and your answer, the main similarity between both is lack of discipline in Portugal and like a seriousness towards the art, lack of professionalism towards the art, maybe towards our art, because I understand that in Russia, if you have, of course, you have way more people doing what they do, doing the dance, and in London also the numbers are bigger. But is it a thing that in Russia the city or like the state, they support the culture more? Do you feel like a lot of support from the city, or they give
government?
Yes, the government. Do they give you money, or they support the culture, or is it really like more based on your own funding and your own, like, I have to work to give this back to the community?
I think if we're talking about urban dance community,
Yes, urban dance community.
no, it's like super independent.
Yes.
Because yeah, government does care about ballroom dancing,
Yes.
about belly dancing, about those like nice social
Yes,
arts,
yes, academical art.
but not like street
Exactly.
industry. It's still a street industry in the eyes
Yes.
of the government. So,
Okay. And then do you feel in the UK they have support from
Yes,
government?
because as I said, there's a lot of also companies, and these companies are able to put on shows and sell the shows to big avenues. Like we have the Barbican Center; it's a big
Yes.
avenue in
Yeah,
London,
yeah.
and you have companies like Boy Blue who have their own shows, you know, like, and then they tour the country and they even tour internationally.
Yeah.
And as them, I believe there's more companies that are able to do this. So I think that there's a different approach to arts when it comes to London. But for example, it's normal. You go there, you want to watch Broadway shows.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Broadway shows. You want to go watch, like whatever you want to find,
Yes.
you can find in London.
Yeah.
And because you know, like all of these things, they include dancing. They include dancers. Like
Okay. So there's more work
space,
platforms.
There's more work platforms.
Okay.
So,
but is it sponsored by government?
So about the sponsor of the government to the pieces that they do, I believe that yes, there is a sponsor, but I don't know in which way. If it's the space that you know, like they help
Yeah.
them
Still
get
The venue.
provided.
the venue.
Okay.
But
It's partially sponsored or partially
but
supported.
even if it's not sponsored, it's supported by the people who go watch it.
Yeah, I
Because
understand.
here you can try to put up a big show, and the people who will go watch is the urban community.
Yeah.
There, at least from what I witnessed at Barbican Center, is the randomest, like most random people.
Okay,
that just
so
normally go
the
to watch shows.
general audience is
General audience.
okay.
They consume this type of art.
Okay. So, as from classes, do you think that the level here in Portugal, as for teachers, is really there's a really big difference in level between here and Russia?
I don't want to sound bad towards
No.
Portugal.
It's just a question. It's just
And
a question.
I do want to like put an assumption of the fact that I'm also a fan of my like Russian community, because
Yes.
there's just insane number of talented people, especially like not only if we take Moscow, but especially if we take Moscow because it's the concentration, and it's just insane. Like sometimes I feel like it's the best way, actually, best place to go and to train. So of course,
Yeah.
the level of classes, the level of choreography, the level of skills is just completely different. I mean, and especially now, the groups are starting to go to arena competition.
Yes.
To there's some people who are like trying to get involved with the groups that go to vibe. I mean,
Yes.
it's just even the standards are completely different.
Yes.
So,
It's good. It's
so
good
much
to know.
higher.
Yes. And what do you feel about the difference between when you take classes here and when you take classes in the UK?
Okay, so of course you can find a lot more offer of high-level classes in London than you can find here, also because of the number of people. But it's as I said, they have a lot of platforms. You know, if you want to have fun, you have it. If you want to train seriously,
Yes, you can train
also have
seriously,
it.
yeah.
And I do think that here you do have like specific teachers that can be really good, but you have to travel a lot to find them. They're not all in the same place in
Yeah,
Museu,
yeah, I
you
understand,
know?
yeah.
You have one or two in one school, then you gotta go to the north and find
Another one,
another
yes.
one or two, and like somebody from the south, and then you gotta.
Yes.
So the big difference is that you go to London and like next to the same kind of like area, you find these people.
Okay.
It's more concentrated.
Okay. So, do you think, from what you know, from what you've seen in Portugal, like the culture, all the color and all this kind of stuff, and the flavors of the food and stuff, do you think that this is in some way inserted on the dance, culturally wise?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I can see so much more freedom in dance. People are, that can be as advantage and a disadvantage. So people can enjoy dancing much more because they're just more free and less controlling.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they might be not, you know, like not so clean or not so it's aesthetic sometimes. But like it's a huge question of like what's better, what's more important.
Yeah.
But there's so much more freedom, and there's I think freedom is the key word.
It's the key word. Okay. And what do you think? Same?
If you go to, for example, United States, that we follow a lot of the LA community, but we admire that. But then in the same, place, you go to New York and they dance completely different. You travel from New York to Atlanta, they dance completely different. So the different ways of dancing, if it's more free, more raw, more clean, whatever, it really will be, I think, like ID of the place.
Yes, like associated to the place.
She says in Russia, they have a specific aesthetic, type
aesthetics
of movement,
and
you can identify. Like I always make this kind of joke about St. Petersburg.
It's a joke.
Type of expression movement.
Yes.
Which I really think it's like their ID.
Yes.
But then you travel to another place and you have other ways of movement and how you feel music and how you move. Like she said, is it good? Is it bad?
Yeah.
I think it's just different and it brings more cultural differences, more richness, I would say.
Okay. Do you think that culturally in Russia, do you have support from your parents since you were small, or is something that it depends from parent to parent or from city to city? What do you think?
I think I cannot compare much to Portugal because I haven't really met like a lot of families.
Yeah.
So I don't know how parents mostly approach it here.
Yes.
But if to take, for example, a little example, when we went to dance summer camp, and then there was this mother of some kid who was just a part of this whole group, and he was like the main entertainer.
Yeah.
And I saw actually a lot of like squads of parents, and they were the part of the event, which was a huge surprise for me. I never actually saw this happening. When we speak about urban dance community, I think it depends on the family. Some families, they support their children. Some parents do not really feel cool about it because they want their kids to be good in college, be good in, I don't know, in arts or in ballet. Something more like stable. Something fancier. But I think it doesn't really depend on the location. It does depend on the family.
It depends on the family, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I have another perspective. I think parents normally are concerned about your future and your security, financial security. So in a place like Portugal or maybe in
Russia,
not everywhere in Russia, maybe St. Petersburg, because there's work in Moscow, right?
Yeah.
So for example, if we take, let's say, these two places, there's not a lot of work that you can do in the future, and this makes the parents feel like this is not a good road for my son or for my kid. This is not a good path. And if you take, for example, from what I see in London, or I don't know, in the UK in general, maybe I'm not sure about the rest, but more in London, there's a lot more kids doing it, and they are supported by the parents. I do feel that it's because a lot of people live off dance there. So because there's a lot of people living off this, the parents are not so concerned because there's actually you can follow it. You can become part of the company and have a full salary every month. You get a contract. I have friends who are in companies who get like monthly paid just to be a part of the company. We don't have this here. You here have to be the freelancer who is always on the lookout for the next job, and it's never guaranteed. As a parent, you don't want to have your kid in that situation.
Exactly.
You want your kid safe. And this is why I feel that some parents will be more concerned according to the reality of this profession.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so to sum it up, do you have some advice or something that you can say to the Portuguese community that from the experience that you have outside and inside of the country, that they can improve their way of being or their way of showing their essence, or to share, or to learn more, or to travel? What can you say to the Portuguese community?
I think the best thing that anybody can do, and I think I got this idea a lot from the conversation that we had together. I think the best thing that you can do is to be yourself.
Yeah.
And to be true to yourself.
Yes.
Though it sounds really vague and really like motivational
Cliché.
quotes kind of stuff, which we don't really like. But it is true. But always be aware of what's happening around.
Yeah.
And I think if they start looking, if they start searching for more, if they start learning more about how people approach the dance in other places, how the discipline can be, how what kind of result you might get if you just change your scheduling, skills.
Yes.
Different, which is I think my biggest problem here, because I get like super, how can we not be on time? How can we not be like fitting into this? So like stay yourself, but get a bigger, wider, more expanded vision and higher standards.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good.
If I have one advice, is just travel. If you have the chance, and do camps and go meet other communities of people, and just it's like a reality check.
Yeah.
Okay, like how's the scene in Australia? Oh wow, they dance like this?
Yeah.
I didn't know. How's the scene in LA? Go there actually, because one thing is when we see the videos, but everything in the video seems pretty like doable. Oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
But actually being there and trying to do it, completely different story.
Yeah.
So I do think like the best advice is just like go, see for yourself. It will be very fun because you'll meet a lot of new people, cultures. I think it's just good food. Yeah, of course, food.
And I think there's always a way to travel, because this is like very true what you're saying. But people might start thinking like, oh yeah, but traveling is expensive. Oh, like he's talking about Australia and LA. Spain is just across the border, and there's so many things happening there. And like I know examples of friends that like take credit cards additionally just to be able to go to camps from my country. So I think that this is the passion, this is the approach.
Yes, exactly.
So you can always find the money, you can always find the opportunity if you really want it.
Yes, it's a focus. So guys, keywords is what you said: organization, awareness, travel, food, and food from everyone, and be yourself. That's the most important. Thank you so much. See Plugged for the next time. Thank you, Sasha, Tarik, and
De nada.
see you soon with more azulejos.
Yes.
Até a próxima.
Até a próxima. Ciao.
Ciao.
So guys, if you liked the whole magazine, the whole thing, follow his Instagram. His Instagram is
Tarik Shand.
Her Instagram is the same as his. No, is it?
Kinda. Alexandra.Kalinina.
Okay, and follow Plugged. And if you like this episode, more will come. Thank you so much. See you soon.